Lego Fortnite has arrived and it is taking the gaming industry by storm. And after hours of gameplay, I thought I would bring the top tips that I wish I knew from when I first started. Starting off with number 1, rainbows. If you're exploring your lands and you manage to find any sort of rainbow coming out of the sky, I would highly recommend going down to it because naturally you will get a reward for it. There's no random purpose of this. Once you're able to build up and get onto the cloud, you'll see the rainbow people going all of there. All you've got to do in front of them is just dance. Use an emote, any emote doesn't really matter, and you will get a lot of rare items from this. This can happen consistently throughout exploring, and you can find more than just one, but it is one that I definitely would recommend looking for. Next up, one that could be patched very shortly, depending on how Fortnite are actually thinking about this. You can actually make your weapons technically 100% durable. So what you want to do with this, and I would recommend doing this with kind of your uncommon and rare items rather than necessarily at the start, because naturally you can make them quite easily. But say you have got your axe, you've got your pickaxe and also your shovel all running out of durability, all you want to do is build a chest. This will not work in a chest you find in a cave. It has got to be one that you actually build. So just a small chest. What you want to do from there is put in any items that you want the durability to basically be reset. You want to then break it with either another tool or by hand. Hand is definitely quicker. And when you pick the items up again, you'll find they're fully restored once more. Now, if this video has helped in any shape or form, if you want to use my code at the checkout, JT11, it will help to support this channel and keep the lights on. Now, one major issue with the game is you can have beds, which is perfect, but it actually doesn't change the time of the game. So no matter how long you're sitting in there, unless you time-lapsed it and made it really quickly, the game would not change time any quicker if you're in a bed or not in a bed. There is a slight way around it, a little bit more of an annoyance to do, but all you've got to do is, for instance, get into your base, go and sleep in your bed, obviously close all the doors so nothing can get in, and you go into the bed and then you back out to the lobby. Once then you back into the lobby, once you've come out, you will then see that the day will go into day again. So it'll go from night to day, and that at the minute is the only way I've seen to technically sleep. One major tip I would recommend is heart charms. These can be crafted very early on into the game. I would suggest upgrading your crafting bench by 1 to make it uncommon at the very minimum, and you should be able to then craft heart charms. These are on the 3rd page of the crafting, so all you've got to do is craft them. You can do up to 3 to start with, I believe, and it will give you extra health points. This is going to be absolutely vital when it comes to grinding the game, exploring, going in caves, and maybe taking off a bit more than you can chew, because naturally you've got more health. Now, I don't think this works for brutes, but most definitely for the low level monsters. If you are anywhere near a river and for instance you've got a wolf, well, in fact a wolf I don't know if it even works, but I know definitely rollers, skeletons, spiders, if you can lure them, especially if they do run at you, into a river or some sort of water area, they will die instantly. This mainly has a huge effectiveness on skeletons and also rollers. Rollers are definitely the easiest, as it is in the name, they roll after you. If you can get them into the water, they will die instantly and don't need any attack on them. A huge extra bonus here with respawns. So basically with this, if you are exploring caves, if you're exploring somewhere where you think maybe you have a chance of dying, what you want to be doing is putting a bed down. Whenever you go into, for instance, the entrance of a cave, if you want to go really far out and maybe you're just going into the cold, you're going into a boss fight and you definitely don't want to lose any of your items, put a bed down and literally just sleep in it. The technical term, not the way we discussed earlier. And what this does is this sets another respawn point for when you do die. So basically, if you died in a cave, instead of then maybe having to go all the way back to that cave, you will be reset where your bed is. This is absolutely huge for exploring, and if you think, okay, I could die here. Whenever you're exploring caves, the number 1 tip I would say is most definitely have NPCs with you. This is going to be absolutely huge because it can fend off monsters, well, skeletons really, skeletons, scorpions, rollers. It's just so much easier having someone there if you don't, for instance, have a second friend there. So it is just perfect. What I would suggest as well is giving them a sword, because naturally it just means they do better. If they do manage to die and kind of you've just left them on their own adventure, then they will respawn after like a minute or two, but you want to give them the best items you possibly can, and they will help you massively. Now, if you are starting the game off and you're just going above kind of your level 3, level 4 village, the big resource that you're going to be needing to start with is knot root and marble. This is absolutely huge in caves mainly, and normally you can find one pretty close to your base. I personally started on the grass rather than anything, so I didn't start in the desert or in the snow. This is going to be perfect because what you need for this is the green axe. So it is, I believe, uncommon. That is going to be the first requirement when kind of grinding up your crafting bench to be able to get it. Once you enter a cave, it should be all around the room really. You naturally can find it, and you've just got to chop it with a green axe. If you try and do it with a normal axe, which is the bog standard, you will hit zeros and won't be able to get it. A little bit more of an observation with this one, but if you've got workbenches or something that requires something to put in it to make something, I think I've just described workbenches, you want to make sure that you are building them inside, or at least with a roof on, because what you'll find, and I can imagine you've probably gone through the same thing, I literally did it when I was writing this list, is that if it rains, you can't use them, which is absolutely poor form if you want to go out in the rain and do something, or you are trying to set something up for when the night time's gone and it's not raining. So I would 100% make sure that everything is inside at the very minimum, or like I said, in a shack, a shed, anything with a roof, so you can use them 24/7. Now, if you're like me and don't have any sense of direction when in a cave, you'll find that you'll go all the way in and think, how do I get back out? Which way did I go? And more than likely you'll run into more skeletons, more rollers that maybe you didn't want to and you possibly could have avoided by going the same path back. What I would suggest with this, it may not be the most practical method or the perfect method, but if you can bring a lot of torches with you, planting them on the ground, if you put them in your offhand slot, you'll be able to throw them with your left trigger on the console. I don't know quite what it is on PC, but you get my drift. Put them in the kind of throw section, and you could throw them on the ground and almost leave breadcrumbs for as you're going through the cave, so you know the way that you come back. You don't have to throw too many, but enough to know the path coming back. It's just going to make it so much easier. Now, if you're like me and thought, how on earth do I get up to the cliffs? How do I go into caves and find the top chests? Why can I not seem to do this? There's no possible way of doing this. Well, this is a survival game, and most definitely the big thing that I realized is you can build anywhere. So the best places to do this, and it may be simple, but sometimes you might not think about it. You could simply just build up to them. So get some stairs, make sure you've got some wood, some planks, whatever you need, and just build up to it. It's the same as obviously the cloud. You've naturally got to build up to stuff. And what I would suggest is once you're finished, come back down if you're not going any more that direction. Get rid of the stairs, bring your wood back with you, you get yourself some unlimited resources to build them stairs over and over again. And the final tip for you is again with torches. We kind of talked about it with throwing them and about putting it in your offhand, but this is absolutely perfect when doing caves because naturally you're going to need a light source constantly, and instead of going into darkness and throwing them one by one, what you want to be doing is putting it in your offhand, leaving your other hand free, meaning you can still axe, you can still shovel, you can still mine, and also attack with a torch constantly in your right hand. That one again is a very simple one, but I thought it was worth mentioning. Hope this all helped, and I'll catch you again for some more tips.